Agent Power Huddle is a daily jumpstart, giving you all the tools you need to create an amazing real estate career. Led by top experts in the field, you'll learn how to sell more houses in less time while creating the life you want. Welcome to the Agent Power Huddle.
All right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am pleased to be with you today, this Monday morning, as we get ready to go into the Thanksgiving week. This is a time of year for me when I really start to prepare for the upcoming year. And I'm going to kind of share some of my processes that I go through and why I've done it this way and how I truly believe it has helped me from a success standpoint, because it's giving me a head start just in regards to goals and being able to achieve the things that I'm putting on paper and actually doing them in a much faster manner. So I'm going to share a few of those things with you here shortly. I wanted to start this presentation. We're calling it Moving the Goalpost, and goal being the operative word. So we're going to talk more about that. But we're at that time of the year, especially about a month from now, where people really start reflecting and thinking about the coming year and making what they call New Year's resolutions. And with those resolutions, they're, just putting out the things that they desire, that they want for their personal life, for their business, for their health, for their relationships, all the things. And I have never really been a fan of resolutions. I always say resolutions are like rules. They're made to be broken, and they typically are. If you look at the studies on resolutions, they say that with about 9% of people that set resolutions actually achieve them, through the course of that year. And they talk about within the first month, 43% of people that set New Year's resolutions have already given up on those resolutions. So that goes to, resolutions are made to be broken. And when you break it down and you look at what a resolution is, it's a statement of an intention of what you want to do, while goals are a statement of commitment. So I'm a big believer in goals and setting goals. And I'm going to show you a kind of an unorthodox way that I go about setting my goals for the new year. But it is proved to be worked for me very well over the past 10, 12 years that I've used it. So I want to share that, with you. And like I said, when you start thinking from a standpoint of, that resolutions are the things that you want, but goals are the things that you want and that you want to achieve, that have an action plan set to them and a deadline attached to them, and that they're written out so that you're seeing them on a daily basis. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that writing out part, because I know there's some people that think that, writing them out is not necessarily going to make it happen. But if we have time, I know I've talked about this in the past, we talk about the subconscious mind and how the things that you read, the things that you see, the things that you think consistently start to take root in your subconscious mind. And when they take root into the subconscious mind, they become reality for your thinking. And that's where we change our thinking in regards to different things. And if we have time, that may be a whole nother show to talk about that piece. But if we have time, we'll definitely dive deeper into that. But I want to start by just really kind of asking you questions. If you want to put it in the chat, feel free to. But at least as I'm asking you the question, think about it for yourself and write it down, at least for yourself. If you don't necessarily have to share it with us, but at least share it with yourself. I want you to ask you first, when do you start thinking about planning your goals for the upcoming year? At what point, what time frame? Again, like I said, most people, first of the year, it's kind of a new year, new me, new start, all the things. In most cases, people are setting those new goals or resolutions right at the first of the year. So when do you start that process? I want to share with you when I started. So November 1st of every year is when I start planning and I start thinking and I start looking into what my goals for the upcoming year are. Now, there's two reasons that I do that. The main reason that I started to do that is kind of simple. My birthday is November 1st. So for me, I am always reflecting on the past year, the things that I was able to do, the things that I didn't get done, and what do I want the next year of life for me to look like? So it makes sense for me to be able to go, if I'm thinking about that and reflecting on it as I'm growing older, I'm also starting to look, okay, what adjustments do I need to make to achieve my goals going into the coming year? Now, I can tell you that I still look at January 1st, in essence, as the start date, but it's not the date that I start. So I take November 1st through November 30th for me as a time frame of figuring out the things, the personal goals, the health goals, the financial goals, the relationship goals, all those components. I'm putting them together and setting the plan. So not only just thinking about what I want, but setting a plan to be able to achieve those things. And then my launch date is not January 1st. My launch date is December 1st. And the reason that I make December 1st my launch date is I want you to think about if you were running in a race, if you were running in a 100-yard dash, and everyone is set at the starting line and the gun goes off, January 1st is the gun going off and everyone's at the starting line on January 1st. All right. So, some people are going to move faster than others. Some are going to move towards that finish line, which is the goal, faster than others. But I want you to think about that person that starts running towards their goals December 1st. So that's someone that may be 20, 25 yards behind the starting line, but they're taking a running start to that starting line. And when they hit that starting line is when the gun goes off for everyone else. So they got a running start over the people that are in the blocks and starting on January 1st. Who's going to win that race? Now, I want you to understand this. This is not about competing with the other people in those other lanes. It's about getting a running start for you. It's about being able to not just, say, okay, January 1st, I'm ready to go. If you've done the planning, say for those 30 days, like I do, and then why wait? You're ready. Why sit there and say, okay, just like everyone else, just like status quo, I'm going to start January 1st. No, start December 1st. And now you have a running start. So see, my year is still January to December, January 1st to December 31. So like right now, while I am putting in place and planning for my 2024 goals, I'm still working in my 2023 goals right now. So I still take 12 months to work on those. Actually, I'm taking almost 14 months because I'm starting the planning and then executing a month early. So I want you to look at it from that perspective of how you start to go after your goals and get that running start going into the year. And now it takes away the whole idea of New Year's resolutions and getting started at the first of the year. And again, you prepped yourself. You have put yourself in a position for the previous 2 months of the planning, of knowing exactly what it is that you're going to do and having the strategy to put it in place and then starting to execute it a month early and then really taking off. And I can tell you, my real estate business, what you're going to see from me in December, starting December 1st, you'll see a large amount of marketing that I'm going to be pushing. That's why I'm preparing for the new year. See, I know that typically December is one of the slower months of the year because it's the holiday season, but things start to pick up. Lately things have started to pick up in mid to early January. And I can tell you for the last probably 5 or 6 years, every year, January has been a huge month for me because what I'm marketing is this is a great opportunity for buyers that have had challenges with purchasing a home, especially when we're in a seller's market. This is the great opportunity to take advantage of a slower market. And so I pick up quite a few buyers during that time frame by taking that mindset. So I want you to think of it from that perspective. If you're looking at it with your business, when everyone else is, I still take part in all the holiday festivities, but more importantly, I'm also giving myself a competitive edge in regards to, running towards whatever that goal is that I set for myself. Okay, the next question that I have for you is, do you set a deadline? Because, again, we talk about resolutions. Resolutions, you can say that you have a deadline of a year, but if you don't have a plan around it and a definitive deadline attached to it, then it's just that. It's a resolution. It's a dream to a certain aspect. There's a quote that says, a dream is a dream until you add a deadline and an action plan to it, and then it becomes a goal. So are you setting a deadline for yourself? And one of the things I want you to think about from that perspective, this is something I do. Usually we're going to talk about vision and goals. Those are two very different things for me. I can tell you my vision for my business, my vision for my relationships, my vision for the lifestyle that I'm going to be living is a 3 to 5 year vision. So it's a bigger picture, and it's usually a loftier goal and a loftier thought. It's something that's really out there, to reach for and to stretch for. But the goal, I usually make the goal a 1 year process. But within that, there are checkpoints. Every quarter of the year, I'm checking my progress. Every month of the year, I'm checking my progress. I'm making sure that I'm staying on track or I'm ahead of where it is that I need to be at. And it gives me the opportunity to make the adjustments that are needed to be able to make sure that I'm staying on target for the goal. So again, as you're setting those goals, I want you to start with a vision. And when I say vision, I want you to literally visualize, think to yourself. This is where, when I talk about dreaming, I'm a big proponent on dreaming and adults dreaming with your eyes wide open and going after those things so probably some of the things that you gave up on dreaming about, in your 20s and your 30s because life happened and you started working and you started having kids and life got in the way of necessary. And I say that in a way where it didn't get in the way, but life distracted you from the dream that you had much earlier on in life. And I want you to think from a standpoint, if you ever sit around thinking to yourself, man, I wish I would have done this, or what if I would have done this? What keeps you from doing whatever that thing is now? So when I talk about the vision, I really want you to spend some time with that, because again, this is 3 to 5 years. This is something that you have time to put yourself back on track for. So think about what that big vision is, that big dream is for you, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's health, whether it's finance, whatever the case may be. Think about it and give a lot of thought to it, and you continue to visualize it. Make it a part of that subconscious thinking that you go through, that becomes a part of your daily routine of what you want in life. So having that vision, and then like I said, now we got 3 to 5 years to hit this lofty dream vision that we've created. But we break it down into years that we're approaching that goal. I'm going to just share with you what mine is. Mine is 1.5 million per year in revenue. It doesn't have to be from just real estate. It can be from many different things. There's many different things that I'm involved with that generate revenue for me. Now, I can tell you probably 3 years ago, making $1 million a year was never something. It was too big for me, and it was one of those things where I couldn't see it. But I got a coach about 3 years ago, and it took him 6 months of getting me to understand the subconscious mind and what we feed to the subconscious mind. Now I can't think of being without that 1.5 million. I haven't reached it yet, but I gave myself the 3 to 5 year goal or the vision. And then in these past few years, I've set a goal in place to be able to go out and achieve that. So now it's no longer something that's a dream. It's a goal. It's an objective that I'm set on now. And like I said, it's lofty, but at the same time, when you put in the action steps, I have it on paper. I know what it looks like to be able to get there. Then it just becomes the actual work, the execution of what I'm doing to make sure that I'm doing the things to get to that point. The beauty of it is when I started having that type of thinking and that mentality, God put in front of me. You can say the universe. I'm going to say God. God put it in front of me as to the proof of people that are actually doing that. And I have relationships with them. I am mentored by some of them. So now it's not only embedded into my mind, but I have people in place that are doing exactly what I plan to do. And they say, you are the sum total of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So you think about it from that perspective that, once you start on a vision and a goal, things are going to happen where the pieces of the puzzle are put in place for you. And you have to recognize that. And then it just comes a matter of you executing on that. So I want to also just kind of talk about having your goals aligned with your vision and making them attainable. So when we break 1.5 million a year, there obviously has to be some incremental steps towards that. We're not going to necessarily make it, in 1 year. In some instances, maybe you can. But for me, I looked at it as, okay, I need to be achieving a certain amount each year and growing towards that. Now, we've had some challenges in real estate where a lot of agents are not necessarily making as much as they did in previous years because the market has changed. But what I told myself is, okay, but I can't just put all my eggs in that real estate basket. Then I have to have other baskets where I have revenue coming in that go towards, achieving the goal that I set for myself. So thinking of again, when you have the vision and you have the goal, the different opportunities that may present themselves to you are going to help you to kind of make the decisions of where you need to be in order to be able to attain that goal. So one of the things, this is where, the moving the goalpost part for me, this is where this comes from. I had a mentor and multimillionaire, and this is in the area of network marketing. I actually retired from the Denver Police Department because of network marketing. I walked away from a 6-figure income a little over 10 years ago because of network marketing. And a big part of that was I had 2 different people that were multimillionaires in that industry. And more importantly, both of those people had created millionaires in that industry. So I knew that following their training and their mentorship, that I could learn so much from them in regards to being able to grow towards my goals. And one of the things that one of the gentlemen, his name is Holton Bugs, what he introduced me to was the concept of never, don't get caught up in achieving your goal. As a matter of fact, never achieve your goal, never reach your goal. And I know that sounds odd, but I want to explain to you what he meant by that. So I want you to think, if you've made a goal to yourself to say, make $300,000 a year starting this year, your goal for 2024 is to make $300,000. for the year. And you've never made 300,000. So this is a lofty goal. This is a goal that really is going to make you get uncomfortable. It's going to change you, because in order to achieve things that you've never done before, you're going to have to become a person you've never been before. And you're going to have to grow through that process. So let's say your goal is that 300,000. Well, you're going towards that goal, and you realize at, let's say, August, you're already at 250,000. 250,000, you got 50,000 to go, and about, 4 to 5 months still left in the year to achieve your goal. That goal is a slam dunk. That goal is done. You're going to hit that 300,000. So this is what Holton shared with me. He said, if you get to 75, 80% to your goal, move the goalpost, move the goal, because it's already done. So what he shared with me is, if your goal is 300,000, move the goal to 350 now, or move the goal to 400,000. And so I did this, and I actually had a year where I did this 3 times, and I achieved all 3 goals. But the goal that I started with was about 33% of what I ended up with. But I know that if I would have kept the goal at that smaller number, I would have probably just achieved that smaller number, maybe a little bit over. But it helped me to push myself to the greater goal. Now, some of us, I know people that are really, it's really important to hit the goal. It's really important to be able to say, I set a goal of this and I achieved it. Well, I want you to think, but when you move the goalpost, you're feeling like, well, I'm not necessarily achieving it. Well, you always go back to what you started with at the beginning of the year. You achieved that goal, and then you surpassed it and achieved the next one, and you achieved the next one. So looking at it from that perspective and understanding that always moving the goalpost is going to bring out the best version of yourself. I know some of you may know who Emmanuel Acho is. He's a former NFL player, and he's now a sportscaster. He recently did a podcast where he talked about stop setting goals. And one part I can agree with in regards to what he said. I don't agree with stop setting goals, but I agree with his understanding on one part. And what he was saying was that when we set goals and then we hit that goal, we stop. We take the foot off the gas, because we set out to do what it was that we planned to do. And so his idea is more about making a commitment to a process that creates success. Well, that's a part of a goal. You have to be committed to a process that creates success, that moves you towards the goal. Again, I look at it from a different perspective of, I want to move up. I want to set a new goal within the same year. And I also believe in setting goals. Don't set a goal of something you've already done. If you made 100,000 in real estate and you set a goal to make another 100,000, well, you've been there, you've done that. And your next goal, if you never made 150,000, then make it 150,000. And once you're at 100,000, it's time to move that goal up, because you're probably going to surpass that 150,000. And this is where you're going to see your best increases in your business. I can tell you, I've had my business, by doing this, increase 100%, 150% over the course from year to year by being able to take these steps. And I think being in real estate, you can definitely see that. Now, if you're in a job, it's hard to make more than, say, an extra 8 to 10% unless you're working a crazy amount of overtime. But when you're in a sales-based business where you control really what your ceiling is, your ceiling is set by you, then you have the ability to grow exponentially year after year after year. So being able to set those goals for yourself. We got about 6 minutes or so. I want to see if I can share something with you here. Jess, can you give me a thumbs up if you see that on my screen where it says GPS? Okay. All right. So this is something that I use in one of the trainings that I do. It's called GPS, Goals, Plan, System. We're just going over the goals today. But GPS, we're familiar with those letters. We know that to be part of a navigation, global positioning system, a navigation system on our phones or in our car. And what is a GPS system in our car for? It's to help us to get from point A, where we currently are, to another destination. That other destination is the goal of where we're trying to get to. And when we input the address into GPS, it gives us the fastest route. It gives us the most direct route. It, in essence, gives us the strategy to get from point A to point B. Well, this GPS right here that you're looking at is much the same thing, except it stands for Goals, Plan, System. So we're going to go back to that monetary goal for the next 12 months, whatever that is. And if you guys want this, I'll make sure to send this to Autumn, and she'll be able to send it out as well. There's actually two more pieces to this, of the plan and the system as well. The system is something that I use from the core and the greatness tracker. But we can show you how to implement a system as well to use this. The monetary goal for the next 6 months. So, you figure out what that number is for you. Let's just use an easy number of 100,000. Your goal for the next 12 months going into 2024 is 100,000. Well, what I want you to think about is, if you write 100,000 on there and you do the thing that we're told to do, write your goals down and read them and do this daily, write them down at night and do this daily. That's great. But 100,000 on a piece of paper is simply a number. You do not attach to a number. So I want to show you something, how you attach to this goal. Typically, when I have a new person that comes on to the team, one of the first questions I'm asking them is, what's your goal for the year monetarily? They give me their number. The next question I'm asking them is right here. What will you do with the money? I want you to visualize yourself making that 100,000. What is it going to help you to accomplish in your life? I hear things from pay off debt, take my kids on, a Disney World trip or a great vacation, put money away for college, all the things, people have. I mean, think about it. We don't make money just to make money. We make money to be able to live a better quality of life. And that's different for each and every one of us. So I want to know, what are those areas that are going to create the better quality of life based off of this income that you're making? So I get those things. We write those things down. And then the next question, who will this positively affect by reaching that goal? Now, again, usually it's if you have a spouse, it's your spouse. It's going to be your children. It could be your parents. It could be aunts, uncles, cousins in some form or fashion. This is affecting them. It's going to obviously affect you as well. So I'm having them write those people down. I even take it a step further with that, and I ask them, why is it going to affect them? What are some of the things that they're going to feel because you accomplish your goal? So I have them write those things down. And then what we do is we go through an exercise and we answer this last question. How will it make you feel when you have accomplished this goal? And what I have them do is I have them close their eyes and I talk them through. I want them to visualize you just had the best year of your business. You made 100,000. You made more than 100,000 for the year. And the debt that you wanted to pay off, the trips that you wanted to go on, the money you wanted to put away for college, all those things are happening this year. You're putting money into different buckets to cover everything that you wanted to do just in the first year. Your parents are proud of you. Your kids are so happy and proud of you. They're excited about the trip that they're getting ready to go on. And you're affecting so many other people in your network of family. And how, the last question, how does that make you feel? Give me the adjectives that you're feeling with that. And in most cases, it's joy, it's peace of mind, it's stress relief, it's freedom, it's all the things that people are really aspiring for. So when we're setting a goal and it's a monetary goal, it's not about the number. It's about the feeling. It's about what it's going to, how it's going to make you feel to be able to achieve that goal. And that is what you attach to. That, when you write that goal down every morning, you have to attach to that feeling as well. So you don't just write the goal and read it without visualizing, without getting into a place of seeing this happening for you and how it's going to affect you. I can tell you the very first year I did this, I said, this was in network marketing and I wanted to hit a certain level in a company. And I said, when I do this, me and my son are big boxing fans. I'm going to take him to a prize fight in Vegas. We're going to go on a cruise. I'm going to pay off debt. I'm going to put money away for college. All the things that people are saying. And guess what? In 18 months, I was able to do that. And it was because every morning I woke up, I visualized being on that cruise ship. And guess what? Within 18 months, we were on a cruise ship because I was the top producing sales rep in that company in North America in a 6-month period. And I won a cruise to be able to go on that cruise ship and take my son and let him see this is the fruits of the labor. All those days of working and all the meetings that I had, it was for this. It was for this moment. And so realizing the visualization had come to reality was something that really stuck with me. And to this day, this is the same process that I go through. So this GPS, I fill this out for myself every year. And I take the agents that are working with me through the same exact process. So goals, plan, system. Like I said, I'll make sure to send this off to Autumn so she can send it out to everyone or anyone that wants it. Feel free to reach out to me as well. And happy to share this with you. But again, I wanted to share with you the moving the goalpost part, the really having some conviction behind your goals for the upcoming year, so that you don't fall into that 43% that's done with their resolutions after the first month, or that 91% that don't hit the resolution. Let's set goals. Let's do something amazing for yourself, for your family, going in and out of 2024. All right. Thanks for being with us today. It was a pleasure sharing this with you. And feel free to reach out to me on Facebook, feel free Instagram, the WhatsApp group if you have any questions around this. Thanks and have a great day.